Hello everyone, it's Mr. Burns here. A little change of venue today for the Federalism Powers Cornell Notes, which is number 4 in your binder for the Unit 4 Table of Contents. We're hanging out in A106 in Mr. Tucker's room, just to mix it up a little bit. You got to mix it up every so often. There we got our Trump and our Hillary posters in the background. It's a great civics room over here in A106, gold team representing. Okay, so we're on number 4. You also need number 3 out, which is your 9-box chart. We just did that. You might want to have that out and handy. So federalism, you're going to write that. Definitions are going to be on the right side of that solid line. Questions are on the left side. So federalism, it's written right here, the division of power between the national and state governments. So we're going to talk about that 9-box chart going down from national to state to local, national being supreme. So when you look at question 2, why was a federal form of government created? Well, Articles of Confederation didn't work. States had too much power. We needed a way to kind of combine the ideas from the Articles with a new government. So we created a federal system. So the national government is supreme, but some powers are reserved to the states. And we talked about that in the warm-up with the 10th Amendment. Okay, question 3. Here's what the different federalism powers. So one that we have are expressed powers. So expressed powers, the definition, written in white there, they're listed in the Constitution. They're given to the national government. So the states cannot do these things. Okay? Write down a couple of the examples. You're going to need this for your study guide tonight as well. Okay, so powers of the national government listed in the Constitution. Okay. Number 4, what are reserved powers? Again, we talked about that earlier, that reserved powers listed in the 10th Amendment. State governments have these powers. These are reserved or set aside to the people and to the states. So things like education in schools. Think about it. Every school system in every state has a different end-of-year test. In New York, they have the Regents. Virginia, we know they have SOL. Texas has the STAR test. North Carolina has the EOG, end of grade. Okay, these are just different state tests. Overseeing elections, we have different ways of voting. In New York, they use a voting machine. In Virginia, they have we had hanging chads in Florida. In which election was that, Mr. Tucker? I believe that was the 2000 election. That is correct. So reserved powers. All right, we have the concurrent powers. We know concurrent powers are shared between the national and state government. So things like taxes and borrow money. When you think of this, you should think of anything that you would see if you were to leave the state and go to a different state. No matter what, if you were to move, you'd have to pay federal income tax. Doesn't matter. State income tax, some states have it, some states don't. Roads. Fairfax County Parkway is a county road. Braddock Road is a state road because it crosses county lines. Interstate 95 is an interstate. It crosses state lines, so therefore it's a national road. Laws, we have federal laws, state laws, local laws. Depending on what you break is what court you would go see. All right, so next, what are implied powers? Powers of the national government not listed in the Constitution. There is this thing called the necessary and proper clause. Congress has the power to create laws that are necessary and proper to carry out express powers. Allows Congress to stretch its powers. A couple of examples. Here you go, minimum wage, military draft, Air Force. There was no airplanes when the Constitution was written. Now there are airplanes, so we use it to help our military. Implied powers help carry out express powers. All right. Number 7 at the bottom, denied powers. National state governments cannot do them. They are denied. Permit slavery. Grant titles of nobility, like the king, even though I'm sometimes called King Burns the First. Not a real title. All right. Okay, turn to the back when you're done with this. Again, pause it anytime you need to. All right, number 8, separation of powers. The 9-box chart that we just completed. Article 1, Article 2, Article 3. Let's eat jelly beans. Legislative, executive, judicial. The order is important. So the job of the legislative branch, of course, is to make laws. The job of the executive branch is to enforce or carry out laws. And judicial branch reviews or interprets laws. Okay. So what I want you to do is read this slide and answer the question, how are the terms separation of powers and federalism different? Pause the video if you need to. All right. Now that you've answered that question, go to the two images there. Decide which one is representing separation of powers and which one's representing federalism, and circle your answer. Pause the video if needed. All right, the last thing I would like for you to do is to answer the two questions at the bottom. Create a simile for federalism to help you better understand it. Federalism is like blank because, fill that in. And do you think having a federal system is good? Why or why not? Is it a good thing that we have power separated between national, state, and local governments? Or should one level have all the power? I don't know. Think about the Articles of Confederation. All right. When you're done with this handout, what you should do is complete 11 to 21 in your study guide if you have not done so already. Okay, get that put into your study guide. All right, any questions? Rewatch the video. Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Tucker.